Hey, greetings, fellow game changers. It's Rich, aka the Game Changer, checking in again with you. With yet another video. This is part of the integration of abstract armies, abstraction of war, chess variants, etc., looking at certain principles here. And what we're doing today with this video is something a little bit different. This is more of a framework video. We're discussing aspects of player involvement, but not exactly pieces or anything in the game here. And what you'll see here is I have some Dominion cards, which somebody made for the game here. You also have some Spellfire card, which I have, and this Doodad thing, which is a drawing, which I have no idea what that is, but anyhow, just don't worry about that. What we have here is, what I'm going to discuss here is player roles that I have for the game here, and the importance when I did a prior video on play balancing where it fits into here. That's forgers and commanders. Let me get commanders out of the way first here. The way I'm defining a commander is somebody else who has an player environment like this here. You can throw a game at them. They're a person who ends up ordering units on the board, player of the game. But in a sense, they're moving what's available. They're trying to optimize, etc., to do what they can to beat their opponent. To beat their opponent by using what the environment says here. That's what they do. On the other hand, this is typically what games were. For the longest time, you had that here. Somebody would construct the game, etc. What you have here, you can look at the likes of Warhammer, but you have a game like Dominion, or a game like Spellfire. This is your typical trading card game. Your wouldn't say deck building, because that's taken by the likes of Dominion, you see down here. What you have now, when you have this here, is the customizable game. And with that, you have the idea of constructing your unit of battle, like in Magic or a deck building game or something else. Or in Dominion, as you're playing, you're building your deck along the way. You're trying to take the environment the way it is here. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. Let me move this down so we can get out of the way here. You're trying to take the environment here and manipulate it to your advantage. Typically, in these games here, you're modifying the area, for example, to create an environment. So I'm trying to control the board so they can win, or some other battles they have that. Typically, Magic, one of the things is the metagame here, or aggro control, etc. are the ones here. You look at the way to manipulate, and that's one of the things that Magic introduced here. The whole idea of customizability. Earlier versions of that, Magic, I think Richard Garfield said, was like Cosmic Encounter, where you had it. So you begin to see slowly games that had variable roles, etc. And even with the role-playing game before that, added the element of creating. Well, what I'm going to say here with Forger is to take the concept one further. You have a certain degree of forging. Forging as in F-O-R-G-I-N-D, as in making or creating, or forging in this case as a weapon. So we're going to take the concept further when we're doing integration and chess variants. And by the way, that's what a play balance game is very important. And you have the idea of somebody actually creating an environment they can use to manipulate, as in the Marquesian method. So when you have somebody who's a forger, not the commander who's moving the units, the forger, they're not just thinking in terms of how to master the environment, but they're thinking about how to manipulate the environment. And by manipulating the environment, they try to create a strategic advantage or accomplish something else here, whatever their agenda is. And as a game designer, when you're doing forging, game design is a form of forging. You're trying to think of something that you want to get people to play. So those are things that happen here. So I'm introducing that as just a label to put on this area for the whole idea of the creation process in an area in a way that's actively involved with creating. That would take a step beyond this. Now, how beyond like the deck building game, like call it Spellfire here, which is even further than this here. How does it go different? Well, in the case here, we'll wrap up here, you're actually adding pieces, and there's no constraint based upon the game equipment. You can create your own, kind of an open source thing, and do it. You could throw things together. So by doing that, you do forging, and you're thinking in terms of how do you modify the environment for strategic advantage. Anyhow, I'm going to start rambling here. I think I did already, so that's about it. I just want to get that concept here. I probably should have did some notes, but I just want to get a video up here. I have a life to get to and that. So, okay, I'm out. You saw this here, and that's about it. I do want to thank you for watching the video and listening. May your die always roll 5. Remember, don't hate the player, change the game. And I am out. Stay tuned for some other videos. About ready to upload this. So, okay, good night, everybody.